hear the cows in the background? It's feeding time out back. They are hungry. Hi back to you. It's good to see you. We have a visitor at our gathering today. Beside the cows out back, we've got Allie's sister Betsy is here hanging out with us in the room. You want to come in to say hi? Don't be shy now. Just come here and say hi. She's so scared. Oh, and Silo, and her dog Silo. Come here, buddy. Come here. Can you see? Come up. Oh my gosh. There was a lot of that going on last night. A lot of all over Allie and I in bed. It's good to be with y'all. She like coffee in the morning, butter on her bread. She likes the sound of danger, but she plays it safe instead. She likes all the nasty weather, she will take it every time. She says nothing's feeling better than those first rays of the sunshine. And she struts along the path that she's on. She says you cannot know the right road when you're worried that it's wrong. Ooh, Erica. And philosophy while she's cutting up your floor. She drinks Jameson and Jameson and Jameson some more. She's always eating vegan except for bacon when it's around. Erica believe the moderation keeps you grounded. She said boys play it fast and play it rough. Life is packed with moments, and they don't last long enough. Ooh, America, you've got 'em spinning like a drug. Your smile reminds us how we love, and when you walk into the room, we all go. Times of constellation, misplaced the spark behind our eyes. A moment's hesitation, but here comes Erica. She said, let's go howl at the moon. Here comes Erica. You know we do it all for you. Well, I'll tell you, it feels a little like a shame to be inside. I mean, it's getting really cold out there, so it's certainly more comfortable to just get to sit here and hang with you all. But we are in such a beautiful place, Torrey, Utah. And this is the same hotel room, same spot that Allie and I landed in last night, where we had our frozen pizza Thanksgiving dinner. It was a very interesting experience. It was a frozen pizza that you could only reheat or cook in an oven because it was raw, but all we had was a microwave. And it wouldn't fit in the microwave, so we had to dough it apart. It was an epic Thanksgiving meal. And Allie's sister Betsy came in with Silo, and we got to hang out and catch up last night. The girls went off hiking today, and I got to spend some time on a cliff overlooking some breathtaking scenery and getting to share a little bit of it with you all. So it was a good day, and it was good to be gathering with you all. I had a little time because I was on my own this afternoon, and so I was just kind of thinking about what I wanted to share with you all. It's always an interesting challenge because there's a whole range of you gatherers, right? There are people, some of you all are watching me for the very first time tonight. Some of you all get to hop on and watch, once or twice a month. And some of you are here every single day. And when I try to choose the songs, it's a challenging thing, right? Because especially for y'all gatherers that are with me all the time, I want to keep making things interesting and new for you. I thought that I would dig into some of the songs that I've only shared once or twice, songs that I never shared before the Gathering series that I got to play for you all, and maybe we could experiment with them again. These songs come from a different part of me, a different era of my writing and my being, and they were never released, and so it's kind of interesting to dig back into them, think about what I was thinking about when I was writing them, and to share them with you. So cheers, and we're going to try one I maybe only shared once or twice. It's called Every Time We Say Goodbye. He said, son, let me tell you a story about a God and a plan. In his infinite glory, he created a man. Man, he had a lot of women, and he owned a lot of slaves. Now that's all out of style, works in mysterious ways. I don't know when my time is coming, maybe tonight, but I got the good book, yeah, you know I'll be alright. We're held over the same flame, see its reflection in a human eye. We all feel the same pain every time we say goodbye. She said, boy, you got a wild imagination, I can tell by your eyes, and your fine jubilation paints the stars in the skies. Now I work in the kitchen, scrub for dimes every day. It's like perpetual motion from the crib to the grave. Yeah, I don't know when my time is coming, maybe tonight. Hearts are beating moments away, holding tight of the plan, and we pray, He said, boy, let me give you some knowledge. Listen up and you'll learn. They don't teach this in college. Penny saved, penny earned. Now I built me an empire with the palm of my hand. Made the docks and buildings scattered out across the land. I don't know when my time is coming, baby, tonight, but I live on in the city skyline. Built over the same flame, see its reflection in a human eye. We feel the same pain every time we say goodbye. Said every time we say goodbye. So that's one called Every Time We Say Goodbye. And there was a brief stint where it was a contender with the band. You know, I picture that as a rock song, you know, and in it I wanted to tell the story of three different people that were struggling to find meaning in their life, and that's what it turned into. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this light just a tiny bit. Let's see if that works. It's interesting. Every night during the gathering, the light around me always shifts, even when I'm inside. I mean, I suppose I could have closed those big blinds, but you still hear the cows out back? Can you hear them? I don't know if you all can hear them, but they are pretty hungry fellas out there. All right. Well, I'm gonna try a song from one of the very early years of my writing, and I've said, and I think I've only shared this maybe once with you all before. I'm not sure. But I said this, I've told you all this a handful of times, that it used to be as I was writing, I would try to write kind of above my ability, right? And so in order to play the songs that I was wanting to share, I would have to get better in order to do it. And you know, I was never a guy that put a lot of chords into a lot of songs. I never a guy that knew a lot of chords. I never knew how to read music. Still can't read music really. And but this is definitely a song where I was struggling with the fact that I really wanted to be a musician, and I really didn't have much of an outlet in terms of having anyone listening to me, wanting to hire me. And that was a hard thing to do, right? It was a hard thing for me to justify each day, working so hard to be an artist and not really having an outlet for that art. I was struggling with that, and so I wrote this song called Mighty Big Fella, and I think I've shared it with you once, but we'll see how this goes. Let's do it here. Alright. I've seen a little destiny and desolation present and apparent in my willful mind, and I'm intrigued by the things that I cannot define. was a cyclical, sordid type story of uses and abuses to the martyr time. And I live for the melodies therein I find. And inspiration come and go at a precarious crawl. And if I stop listening to the music in my head, I surely had nothing at all. And it seemed like a mighty big fall. I hear a humbling, jumbling bundle of harmonized letters that appear in lines. They bound and resound in the echoes inside of my mind. Money's consistent with the innocent and the affluent, churning and burning to the martyr time. And my standard of living's in consistent decline. And inspiration come like spring and it go like fall. And if I stop listening to the music in my head, I surely had nothing at all. And it seemed like a mighty big fall. I'd like to capture a moment in time, put it under my pillow at night, wake up the next day to find my whimsical daydream potential materialize before my eyes. And I could be the utmost desirable, inspirable person, apparition you could ever find. If running in circles could compensate for wasted time. And inspiration come and go if it's coming at all. And if I stop listening to the music in my head, I surely had nothing at all. And it seemed like a mighty big fall. It seemed like a mighty big fall. It continues to feel a little bit strange to me to play songs like that for you all, because they are like drafts. They are like diary entries. They were an exercise in me writing a song and trying to get something out and figuring out how to do it through this instrument and this instrument and this instrument. But in a lot of ways, that song was never really meant to be shared with anyone else, maybe besides me. I remember, especially those early days writing, that I would have to go through the exercise sometimes of telling myself, okay, look, I don't have to play this for anyone. Just keep writing. That's okay. If it doesn't do the thing that you want it to do, just keep writing. Get better at getting it out. And so that was an exercise in that. Okay, I think this would be appropriate. This happens to be another of my first endeavors into writing, and a song that I never really started sharing until the Gathering series, appropriate for tonight. It is one called A Cow Song. And it's actually meant to be played with some mooing in the background. So I'm afraid maybe I missed the peak of feeding time because they're quieting down a little bit now. But and I suppose even though this is not a song I would ever really choose to perform, maybe without telling the story, or maybe without just being in a really comfortable environment with you gatherers. But this came from me working on a dairy farm up in Canada, and it was a song I wrote. It was a song I wrote one of the first days that I was on the farm. I had just been hired on to 600-acre dairy farm, and they were cleaning out some space in the attic for me to stay in. And until they did, I had to stay in my van parked behind the barn. And the milking, when you work on a dairy farm, you milk the cows twice a day, and usually it's in a 12-hour cycle. So most farms, right, will maybe milk at 5 or 6 in the morning, and then 5 or 6 at night. This farm that I was on liked to milk at 3 in the morning and then 3 in the afternoon, so that by the time you were done with the second milking, you were, it was around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and it was dinner time. You didn't have to come into dinner late, right? And I didn't know anything about working on a farm. What I knew was that I grew up outside of a city. I'd been lucky enough to be able to go to college. I knew that most people in the world didn't have the same kind of opportunities that I did. I knew that most people in the world had to work hard their whole lives, and they didn't have a lot of choice in what they were working on. Most people have to use their hands to make a living, and I felt like I needed to experience some of all of that, right? If I was going to go out into the world and find my place as a man, and so I convinced the farmer to hire me. First day was a rough day. It was a rough day filled with weirdness and embarrassment, and me not being good at doing anything that Keith, the owner of the farm, was teaching me how to do. And it is an incredible thing. Like any craft, like any trade, as you do it over time, you get better and better. There is an art to everything. There is an art to everything, right? And it was only towards the end of my time on the farm that I began to, right? For a while, Keith would leave the farm and I'd be in charge of milking the cows. It would take me 3 or 4 hours to do it. By the end of my time on that farm, he would go away for the weekend with his family, and I'd be able to run that farm, and that was something that I took a lot of pride in, right? But rewind back to that first night. I'm in my van after the first day, getting my ass kicked all over the farm, and I'm sitting on the van and I'm playing the guitar. The side of the van is open; it's facing the pasture. The side of the van is open, and I've been messing with this. I've been messing with this riff. As I was playing it, and the sun was setting, it was kind of like a rainy kind of night, but not rainy enough that there was still some light that was coming through the clouds, right? And so the light was kind of shifting and changing, and I was exhausted, and I was just playing through this riff, and I was finding that using this as an outlet to get across the things that meant the most to me was more and more what I wanted to try and figure out how to do. And as I was playing, one of the cows walked up from the pasture and just stood there on the other side of the fence. I just stood there, and as I was just sitting there playing, and I was playing for I was playing it for a few hours, but over the course of the couple hours that I was playing, more cows came up until there were there were 7 or 8 cows just standing in front of the fence while I was playing, and it was officially my first audience that I ever played for, and I felt like it was as I was turning this into a song, I decided that it would be the cow song, and it would be for the cows. Again, not a song, not a song I would normally be comfortable sharing, but you got a strange way of saying hello. Your tail's swinging slow, and I wonder what's behind those dull stares. But I'm happy for the company, so I guess I don't really care. Who the hell never knows where this and that may go? But for now, I'm just happy playing to the cows. Well, I never thought myself as the eccentric type, but since I got that label, well, man, I guess it's alright. Hazy sunset slowly fades before my eyes, and I wonder what I'd be doing if under different skies. Who the hell never knows where this thing that may go? But for I'm just happy playing to the cows. The sound of tinging fills my ears as the rain falls down on my land. Maybe it'll keep the skeeters away from this tired farming man. And as darkness creeps in, my eyesight slowly melts away, and the dazzling greens and fields slowly turn to darker shades. Who the hell ever knows where this and that may go? But for now, I think that for now, man, I'm just happy playing to cows. All right. The cow song. Somebody comment out there. Let's see if I can call it up. Oh, I guess not. There it is. All right, bud. Let's see if any came up. No, they are definitely not interested in this music. I'll tell you that much. Can you see out there? It's really pretty. I wish these windows were not so nasty dirty, and you could see what was going on. Yeah. Should we keep it open? We can at least watch the sunset in the background a little bit. Okay. I made a handful of videos for various events and friends and causes this afternoon while I was scampering on the cliffs, and one was for one called Project Somos, which is a really cool nonprofit organization I just learned about. They are down in Guatemala, and it is a couple started this organization, and they raise money to provide resources for kids in need, to provide them with education and opportunities. And during the time of COVID, they have had to pivot to just try and bring in as much money as they can to support as many families as they can right now, to just get people through this time. Project Somos, if you want to check it out. And it is it was cool for me to get to play a song for an event that they are doing tomorrow for them. And there's another artist that I really like, a friend of mine who I've written some with. Her name is Untitled Chapter. Some of y'all will remember her from past rambles or openings, and or you may just know her because she's a badass. But I thought that I would. She's been in my mind, and this organization's been in my mind today, so I thought I would play the song that I wrote with her. This one is called Desiree. Oh, I'm gonna tune that a little better. She don't see the skyline is fading. Desiree's at it again, eager to fill in the spaces, unwinding the tangles with the scratch of her pen. And remember her walking in circles, holding her head in her hand. Thought I failed the audition, then her dizzy decision, come play my rock and roll band. Hey, 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 Desiree, it's a fine mess you got yourself in, tangled and tragic and walking away, and they're calling your name out again. Hey, 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 look at you go, tied up and torn, you show put on a show. They'll never get close to you, they'll never know where. Desiree's up on the ledge again, but her heart, it still lives on the ground, where it's building a home made of ribbons and bows and a warmth in the cradle of sound. Hey, 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 Desiree, it's a fine mess you got yourself in, tangled and tragic and walking away, and they're calling your name curtain calls killing me. What do they want from me? We're dancing like dolls on a string. I said the car's packed, let's drive to the mountains. Let this bumper car tragedy end. She looks up in surprise, mascara stained eyes, says then we wouldn't get to do it again. Hey, Desiree, it's a fine mess you got yourself in. Tangled and tragic and walking away, and they're calling your name out again. Hey, look at you go, tied up and torn, you should put on a show. You'll never get close to you, you'll never know. Yeah. All right. Woo, it's cold. That light seems bright to me. I'm gonna keep turning it down. Maybe that's a little bit better. I like that song. I like Untitled Chapter. She's great. Great singer. Alright, I haven't thought about this until just now, but man, what is this? Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for my new sister Betsy, who's here.
Ow!
Who's a pain in my ass.
ACDC?
And every time, so it must have been, I don't know when the first show you came to was, Betsy. It must have been 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know. But it was one of our first tours out in Colorado, I think, where Betsy lives. And she came out, and we were playing a rockin' little set at a bar, and we must have played this song. And we were only playing this song really as a band. We only did it a handful of times in like the whole trajectory of our career. But since that day, every time she comes to a show, she requests this song. I have not practiced this, so we'll see what happens, okay? She get the motor play. Was the best damn woman that I ever seen. I decided, telling me no lies, knocking me out with those American thighs. Looking long and share, fighting for it. She told me to come, but I was already there. 'Cause the walls was shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching. We were faking it, and you should be all night long. Yeah, you set me all night long. Knock me out and say you should be all night long. Yeah, to me, you should be all night long. forgot some of the words in the second verse. Who noticed? I know some of you noticed. AC/DC. That's a good song. If I felt like I could really do it justice, I might have to put it into the regular repertoire. All right. Well, I wanted to play. I wanted to play another deep cut for you. A song. Well, this is a song called Monster. And we'll see. Again, this is another song. This is a song a couple chapters after some of the early songs that I shared with you tonight. And I was beginning to feel like I could become a little more dexterous with my fingers and what they were doing. And I felt like I was getting better at having an idea and being able to make the idea come out to my fingers, right? Problem is that as I was writing more and more complex little things on the guitar, it is hard to remember them and reteach my fingers how to play those lines again. So let's see how this goes. Your monster poke his head out at times, at times right before my eyes, and I wonder if your sanctity's a disguise, disguise. And you say you won't go back where the monster twists your eyes, and you're on the right track, but you know it lies between your lines. Truism's never been touched, though your belief is high. And if the shit hit, would you give it all up? All up. And you say you won't go back where the monster twists your eyes, and you're on the right track, but you know it lies between your lines, and he's lurking between your lines. And you say you won't go back to where the monster twists your eyes, and you're on the right track, but you know it lies between your lines. Deep cuts today. Deep cuts. Alright, I'm gonna play one more old school song. And thanks for hanging with me on this Friday night. It's nice to dig into some of the old songs with y'all. Sometimes. Tomorrow night is gonna be request night. So tonight I was steering and I took us in weird directions. Tonight you get to steer, okay? I'm gonna wake up super early with Allie and Betsy, and we're gonna go on a long hike into Capitol Reef National Park, and I'm so excited for that. I hear that this park, it's one of those parks. I mean, Utah is a crazy place. It is a crazy, beautiful, insanely beautiful place, and this is supposedly just an incredible park that is overshadowed just because, right, you're next to Bryson, Zion, and the Grand Canyon, and some places that take up a lot of the limelight, and so I'm really excited to go for a nice long hike with my gals, and to come back just in time for our gathering, and you guys can take the wheel, all right? All right, here we go. How did you get so big? Your head must be too tight, strutting around like a peacock on a Friday night. And if I was a surgeon, I'd cut you down to size, complete with a new pair of humble eyes, but you never see how you tainted me. Hey, hey, hey there, Judas, I'm gonna watch you fall, just enough to put you on your knees so you can crawl back to the reason you're the man that you left behind. No, Judas, I know your kind. I know your kind. We had something good, but you let it fall apart, and I should have seen you bubbling over the top from the start. And if I was a painter, I'd put you up on the wall, exaggerate the beauty of it all, but you never see how you tainted me. Hey, hey, hey there, Judas, I wanna watch you fall, just enough to put you on your knees so you can crawl back to the reason of the man that you left behind. But it won't happen, no, no, Judas, I know your kind. you all are on our mailing list, you got a message today about a whole bunch of new stuff that we have in our store for the holidays, and we'll be talking about that next week and all that stuff. But I just want to thank my team for helping to put all that together. It's been hard to do it. I've been on the road and a little MIA, and I especially want to give a shout out to our friends at Well Told. They are swamped, as you might imagine, during the holidays, yet still helped design and come out with a bunch of new stuff for us gatherers, which I just appreciate so much. I appreciate so much of that. I appreciate that so much of what I do is dependent on this community that I am surrounded by. And there are a lot of good people that are helping me out all the time, and I couldn't do it without y'all. So, anyways. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the wind at our backs. May it always blow steady wherever you roam. May it turn when you're ready to carry you home. May it keep you ahead of the lane. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the heavens above. Some say it's a glimpse of God's great design. Some say it's the science of both things combined. Maybe look up and always feel wonder. Here is to us all that we see, is to our hearts and the air that we breathe, is to raise up your glasses. Let us drink to this time that we have. These moments pass lightly, won't come again. May our lives all burn brightly, right up to the end. May we live them with joyous abandon. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the end of the day. Let us drink to the work when the working is through. Let us drink one to me. Let us drink one to you. Let us drink one to those who aren't with us. Here is to us, and all that we see is to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to around and good company. Here's to the future. Here's to the past. Let us drink one down slow. Let us drink one down fast. Let us drink one as if this night is our last. Here's to the drink that we share. Oh, here's to the drink that we share. Cheers. Please stay safe. Keep on looking out for one another. And I'll see you tomorrow.